Hello and welcome to my channel, Business Advice and Money Saving Tips. This one is a video on how you can make serious money as a photographer. But first of all, as always, a joke. This one, another one of my favourites from comedian Frankie Boyle. So, people say that Steve Jobs died too soon. But I think it was a fitting metaphor to his company's attitude towards battery life. Oh, it's dark. Oh, roll the thing. So from the top, I just want to qualify myself for talking about running a photography business in this video. So I had a photography agency. I set it up in 2010. I sold it in 2015. We were converting around about 100 to 120 bookings per year. This for me was really a side hustle. I didn't go out and do any photography jobs myself. In fact, that's a lie. I did one as a second shooter just to kind of get a bit more of an insight to how it actually worked on the ground. But aside from that, virtually every booking was done by a photographer that I hired. The advice I'm going to share in this video, I think, is the type of advice that you wouldn't get from watching any other video about a photography business. This is not going to be a video on, how to shoot the perfect photo, how to do technical stuff with a camera. I'm not your guy for that. This video is a business advice on how you can earn serious money from a photography business, and it's also advice that I've put together from at the start of the company. I did a lot of company research looking at other photography businesses, and I found a few key things that were missing from these photography businesses that were out there. I put all of those things that I thought were missing in place in my own business, and I was away. And that's why my first year, I did only 60, 70 bookings. I got a booking within about 4 days of my website going live and my marketing campaign going live. And like I say, this is not a technical video. This is not how to shoot a pretty photo. This is how to make serious hard cash from a photography business. Got that? Good. Let's begin this. Well, the first thing that I did to actually start the business was I contacted the competition to really find out how they would sell and just see what their price points were, what different products they offered, what was unique about every single photography company out there. Because I was thinking to myself, this has got to be different. This has got to be different from the world of mobile DJs and bands and musicians. It's going to be so much different. And I remember thinking to myself, I bet photographers work really professionally because they normally charge quite a large sum of money for their service. I thought that they're all going to run really kind of slick, smooth businesses and be really great, not only at photography but also at business. But no, I was wrong about that. It was very, very similar to the world of mobile DJs, and I'll explain what I mean. And what I found time and time again was I came across great photographers, but I didn't come across great business people who were really good at business. They were really good at what they do. They were, a million, billion times better than me at photography. But when it came to business, they really fell down. And I think the first kind of indication of that was the way in which the photographers would try and sell to me. And a lot of them gave me a kind of very brief explanation of what they did and their product and then the price. And that was it. I only got contacted, I think, I sent a few emails out, and I only got contacted by one photographer who wanted to have a conversation with me. Everyone else was relying on emails, and there was just no selling. There was no selling, and I see this time and time again from people who work in the service sector. They're great at what they do, they got a great product, but they have no idea how to sell it, and they don't spend the time to actually create a sales pitch and to work out how best to sell that product. So immediately in that kind of initial stage of the market research, as with my first business, I saw a gap, and I basically sat down and I wrote out a sales pitch which was about 8 to 10 minutes long. And then that was it, and then I was pretty much ready to go. The next stage for me was to actually get something of a brand together. Now, at the start of any business, your brand is going to be kind of rubbish. It's not going to be perfect at all. There will be gaps, there'll be holes in it, but I think it's very, very important within the first year of business to keep on refining that brand. Don't just create a site and then leave it for years and then go back to it 2-3 years later. At the beginning of any business, when you create a site, a website, you want to be going back to it on a weekly basis. You want to be updating it. You want to be finding out, what works and what doesn't work. You want to be talking to the people who actually contact you through the website. Find out what they liked, find out how they kind of got in contact with you and how easy they felt it was to actually work your website in the first place. And keep going through that refinement process over the first year. Another really important thing about the branding is it's branding that separates the photographers who can charge £2,000 and upwards from the photographers who charge $1,500 or less. And that is the big differential. I've seen photographers who produce amazing, beautiful photographs. There was one in particular, a very good friend of mine, I'm not going to say that person's name, but yeah, her photography was absolutely brilliant. Top drawer. It was in fact better than any of the photography that the freelancers on my books in the photography company would produce. It was brilliant. However, the one thing that she was really missing in her company and her business was the branding. She didn't have a great brand. And she was in this price point of, I think, around about 700 to about 1200. I really hope I haven't got those figures wrong, but I know for a fact that she wasn't in that kind of £2,000 upwards price bracket. Another example is I went to a venue called, I think it's the Crazy Bear in Oxfordshire. Really nice venue, met a photographer there who does a lot of work. And this guy has a kick-ass website, brilliant website. And he produces great photography, and he also has a bit of the gift of the gab. So he kind of, interact with people. He's a little bit funny, a little bit cheeky. And people really enjoy that. They really like him. Now he is in this price bracket, £2,000 and upwards. And I remember just a week after that, I went to another wedding, and I met another photographer. Now I thought the quality of this other photographer's work was better, way better than this guy at the Crazy Bear. And I kind of thought, okay, here we go. He's going to be another photographer charging, £2,500, £3,000 for a package. Let's have a look at his website. And it was terrible. It was absolutely in bits. It was a dog's dinner. And I asked him how much he was charging, and he was charging £800. So, branding is so important, whether you are, selling a product, selling a service, whatever business you are in. It is one of the most important things that you could possibly concentrate on. And I think, aside from selling and actually making a sales pitch, it is probably the most overlooked thing in business. So please make sure you spend the time, get your brand right. If you get it right from the beginning, then you're going to save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of hassle. And yeah, like as I mentioned before, you will go through the process in that first year where you are refining that brand, adding things, taking things away, moving things on your website. But if you do the best job that you possibly can from the beginning, like I say, your margins are going to be better, you're going to be able to charge more, and you could get way more money in the long run. My final piece of advice is to find a way to have your business stand out. Find a unique selling point. And I know it can be tricky. There's lots of photographers out there offering lots of different types of services. It can be hard to find a unique selling point for your business. Now, I'll share with you the two that I had. Number one, I gave my clients a choice in terms of the style of photography that they had. My portfolio was actually broken down into different styles, and I had a fun and quirky style, I had a traditional style, there was a classic style, I think I had a contemporary style, and it was unique because I didn't see another photographer arranging their portfolio in that way. I just saw lots of online portfolios with the best work, the very best work of that photographer, which is great, which is fine. You obviously want to showcase your best work, but I felt like my clients really wanted to have a choice. They wanted to have more control and say over the style of photography that they actually got, and that's what I gave them. My second unique selling point was that I had an offer in place whereby I could say to my clients that I could give each of their friends and family members anywhere between 30 to 100 prints, 6x4 colour prints, each for free. And the way in which I set this deal up was I worked with a provider called Photobox. Now, at the time, Photobox had an offer whereby for every new client who signed up to use their services, they would give that person anywhere between 30 to 100 prints. It varied from month to month. Now, I found that with Photobox, you could upload a gallery of photos, and then you could share that gallery of photos with whoever you wanted. So what I would do is and this would, by the way, this would take me next to no time at all. I'd just leave my computer to upload all the photos to a gallery. This whole process from beginning to end took me the best part of 5 to 10 minutes, excluding the waiting time for the uploads. So I would get a full list of the emails of the people that my client would want that gallery shared with and who the client wanted to have the free prints. I would then share that gallery with that list. Now what Photobox would do, they would not only share that gallery, but they'd also send them an email asking them to sign up to a free account. And then as soon as each person signed up to a new account with Photobox, then not only did they get the free prints, not only were they eligible for the free prints, but I also got free credit. I got, and this also varied, I got anywhere between £5 to £10 credit from Photobox. And it created a really nice little cycle for me because, first of all, my clients were over the moon that I could set this up in a way that their friends and family members could get free prints. Like most of my clients just hadn't heard anything like that being offered by a photographer before. And then I was over the moon because there was all this free credit from Photobox, and I could then offer upgrades to my clients like photo books, like canvases, and I wouldn't pay for them because I had all this free credit to use up from Photobox. And I remember one year actually I had so much free credit left over I could actually use it up in my business, and I spent it on friends and family. I got like canvases and photo books to use up that credit for, I think it was mainly Christmas presents that year. So those are all of my tips. Like I say, I think the unique selling points are very important and quite critical to have you stand out from the crowd because there are so many photographers out there. So guys, look, I hope you found this video useful. Please do smash that like button and leave me a comment below. Please let me know, if you do actually implement any of the tips that I've mentioned in this video and what kind of successes you have with them. Please remember to subscribe as well. I do lots of different videos on this channel regarding business tips and money saving advice. Also do different things on different channels with live streams and a bit of comedy here and there as well. And guys, look, again, thanks for watching, and until next time, cheers!